And yes, clones, even though I mentioned earlier this week I'm not, quote, a big Beatles guy, I saw that big Beatles story with Paul McCartney. We're not talking about it. We're just not. At RG in Peoria, can you let me know which segment will be the Beatles' take? Son, Billy Squire. Billy Squire didn't tweet the show. That's fake. Fake tweet. And let me also preemptively say no to this. No, getting Trevor Price and I to number 1 on iTunes will not get me to do a take on the Beatles. I'm not doing it. That's not going in the box of chaos either. We're not doing it. I mentioned earlier this week, I'm not a Beatles guy. I'll take the Who and the Stones both over the Beatles. Yeah, no, sacrilege, right? I'll tell you what's sacrilege. The four of those dudes going all J-Stu, never mind. And Mike in Toledo tweets, why eat spoonfuls of sugar when you can snort them? Sincerely, Nose Dustin Johnson.
Okay.
Nose Dustin. I know exactly what you're thinking. I understand the mindset of a clone. All right, Rome. All right. Is that how it is? Is that how it is? We're not talking about the Beatles? How about we talk about, quote, Nose Dustin? You mean Dustin Johnson. I may even have a take on that. I do not have a take on John and Paul and George and the fellas and Ringo. Don't have a take on those guys, but I do have a take on Dustin, which I may get to a little bit later on. Hey, Hawk, stop bringing me crap. That's all we're getting, so don't bring me anything. I said, stop bringing me crap. He said, I can't. That's all we're getting. As he gleefully glides out of the studio with a stupid grin on his face. Come on, Hawk. I can tell by your whole vibe that you really like what you just gave me, so let's find out. War Chargers security guard listening to Let It Be on repeat. Matt in Vancouver. So that's the stupid grin that you had, Hawk. Listen, I know y'all don't care what you tweet me, but do you like me? Do you like having me on the air? Then stop doing that. I work for CBS. CBS Sports Radio. CBS Sports Network. Tiffany of Broadcasting. That company. Stop, Alvin, stop. When I made the move from ESPN to CBS, I got the question quite a bit. Like, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? And I said, because when CBS offers you a job, the answer is yes. Like, CBS calls up, and before they even get into what it is, I'm yes. Hey, Rome, listen. We have this idea. Would you? Yes. When CBS calls, you say yes. I know who I work for. Stop sending me that crap. I like it here. I want to stay here as long as I can. And I'm not going to be able to if you send me things like War Chargers security guard listening to Let It Be on repeat. And you, Matt, especially. If you're the kind of guy sending me that kind of thing, you're a smack-off guy. Act like it. I mean, granted, you finished out of the top 10 and you were disappointing. But you are a smack-off invitee. You're a smack-off participant. You're a smack-off guy. Act like it. I expect these other boneheads not to do so. I'm holding you to a different standard, bro. You're a smack-off dude. Act like it. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about them. It's got nothing to do with anything. Now, here's what we are talking about. We're not talking about the Beatles. Am I clear? Crystal, Rome. Good. Ending this hour at Great Blue Dini 4 tweets. Vance, are you not wanting to talk about the Beatles because of the climate in America? It has to be the climate in America, right? No, that's not why I'm not talking about that.
Climate in America.
Dear Jim, did you just say that Le'Veon Bell is having a one-man party? Can I join? Signed, Sir Paul McCartney. I'm not talking about it. If I'm 2 hours in and I haven't talked about it yet, it stands to reason we will not talk about it in hour number 3. Why? Not because of the climate in America, but because, quote, I'm just not a Beatles guy. If I didn't like their music, it would stand to reason I really don't have much time for that story. Stop bringing it up. And stop asking why a guy like that who's 74 would choose to talk about something like that when he's 74. Like it never came out before. So why is it coming out now? I don't know, and I don't care. Neither here nor there. I can make an argument as to why Dustin Johnson is a story that I would cover on this show. I can make no argument to cover that story involving the Beatles. Regardless of whether or not Jason Stewart used to work on this show. It's irrelevant. First to tweet, at Such Beer Wow tweets. Hey, Le'Veon, don't let me down. Let's come together. We can work it out. We need you to get back to 8 days a week. Sincerely, the Steelers. I see what you did there. I'm not amused. We're still not talking about the Beatles. I'm not talking about them, but I will take a call from Dan in Denver, which is almost as bad of an idea as talking about the Beatles, but I'll do it anyway. Let's see. The guy hasn't checked in for a while. I've forgotten about the sort of damage he can do to my program and my brand. What the hell? We're having a good day. Let's do it. Dan in Denver. What's up, Dan?
What's up, Rome? Thanks for the Vine. Very clever of you having Major Applewhite on the show on the same day Apple announces the new iPhones. And did you see that Clonestock video Kyle in Green Bay put out? Couple quick questions, Jim. Who were all those fat guys dancing together in slow motion to the trap beat? The Beatles? And follow-up question, where were all the women? Anyways, Jim, speaking of all men, how is that stuck nut form thing still a thing? I haven't seen a group nut together like that since Ringo, Paul, and the boys broke.
That's not a good call. No.
You don't like that call.
I don't like that call. Not a very good call.
It's a stupid call, Dan. Like most of your calls. And sure didn't see that coming. The way you were setting that thing up. The Clonestock in Green Bay. Where were the women? Speaking of which, how is that stuck nut forum still a thing? Oh, let's go to the Beatles. Yeah, didn't see that coming, Dan. Didn't telegraph that pass at all, Dan. Had no idea that was where that was going to end up. Sure I did. Of course I did. And I'm still not talking about it. War you putting the Beatles take in the Daily Jungle. Hashtag couple of weirdos. And then sometimes we have a little fun. Just not with Sir John. Check that, Sir Paul. And John. John's dead, man. He can't even defend himself.
Hey, John.
You know why he's not answering? He's dead. That's why we're not doing it. Another reason why we're not doing it. He's not here to defend himself. Well, Paul, he'll meet his maker. Or he'll meet John and they could take it up then. John will be like, Paul, bro, really? I mean, dude, I wasn't even here to talk about that. Why are you bringing that thing up now? You're 74. Come on, man. The two of them can take it up at some other time. Idiots. I'm looking at my call screen. You know what I see? Idiots. No names mentioned. Parody Larry, as an example. Parody Larry. Hey, Hawk, go ahead, put your cans on real quick. Parody Larry is on hold, and you've got him in red ink. Why is that?
I just want to make sure, well, for the listening audience, I put notes next to people's names so you have an idea of what they want to talk about. It's Radio 101, and I don't want you to take this call without seeing exactly what he wants to attempt. So I put the subject of his call in red ink to catch your eye because...
Like alert, alert,
yes.
Red ink, red ink.
I want to wash my hands of whatever might happen if this phone call makes it on the air. Like, hey, I warned you.
So why would you even put that up? Because if, in fact, I were to take that phone call, you would have cleared it and put it up, and then it's on you, Hawk, and no red ink is going to save you from that. So why is it there?
Let
me ask you this. Without seeing exactly what the red ink says, Parody Larry is known for coming on this show, bringing us down, making terrible phone calls with really regrettable parodies. So what is it today? What parody would he like to sing?
He wants to do a Beatles parody on...
Oh, Beatles.
Yep. It's topical, and he wants to talk about what Paul McCartney and John Lennon used to do as kids together.
Used to do as kids together.
Yeah, with 3 other friends, according to the GQ magazine article that was published yesterday.
And you thought that letting Parody Larry on to sing about something like that would be a good idea. Good for my career, good for your career, and good for our brand, and good for this show. You thought that was a good idea.
I've always felt protected by 1, the dump button, and 2, the manual buzzer. So if he had crossed the line, we could take action.
Yeah, and what if the dump button didn't work? And what if Alvin were asleep at the switch? What if it got out there? What if 200 radio stations heard what this idiot had to say? Who would that be on? Me or you? Maybe me. And if it's on me, who do you think I'm taking with me? You. So why would you put this guy up and then put it in red ink and think that you're covered? Hey, it's not on me, boss. I put it in red ink.
All right. I'll get rid of him.
Yeah, it's a good idea, Hawk. Why don't you do that? Why don't you do that and take down that stupid stash while you're at it? But personal appearances are not show fodder. Hawk's like, hey, man, I'm covered, man. I put it in red ink. How did you not see that, boss? It's in red ink. You can't say I didn't warn you. I told you. It's in red ink. Yeah, because I'm going to take a Parody Larry masturbation parody. Sure I am. Hang up the phone, Larry. Freaking hang up the phone, Larry. Hey, Larry, stop paying your phone bill. Disconnect your phone, Lawrence. This is interesting. Here's something else in red, Hawk. Paul in Liverpool. Paul in Liverpool. Hawk, I wonder if you think this is going to be as funny as you think it is right now when you go home and you tell the wife, the mother of your one child, and the mother of your child-to-be that you no longer have a job. How about if I put that in red ink? Hawk, you're fired in red ink. Would that still be funny? Then take down the call off the screen that's from Paul in Liverpool with the subject, do you want to come over later and have some fun? Don't like the Beatles. I just don't. It's not a reason to go. I just don't. I didn't before, and I really don't right now. Just not my thing, not my band. I like The Who better. I like the Stones better. I like a lot of bands better. I can go on and on. Man, I'm really sorry we're out of time. And by I'm sorry we're out of time, I mean, damn, that could not have come any sooner.